brought you in this world. I'll take you out. Because I said so. Don't talk back. So, what? When is the last time somebody hurt you intentionally or unintentionally, mentally or physically? And this is for all the parents. And you explained to them how they made you feel and they dismissed your feelings. That is not a good feeling. Or they minimized it. Or they even told you that you did not feel that way. Let me ask you a question. Parents, especially those with adult children, are you contributing to your child's trauma or are you contributing to their healing? Think about it. Are you allowing your child that safe space to articulate how they are feeling? Or are you dismissing them because you are the best parent in the world? This is a topic that needs to be talked about. So come on and join in and let's jump into it. Today's topic is bonding with your children and acknowledging childhood trauma. Hello and welcome to the Hello Vibes and the Elevation podcast. This is the thought-provoking talk segment with your girl, Crystal Jackson. This is the segment where we dive into the tough topics. We talk about things that are conflicting. Either way, these are things to help us look inside of ourselves, heal, grow, or know when to walk away. Today's topic, okay? We are going to explore the sometimes uncomfortable topic of parenting, specifically how our perception of our own parenting can differ dramatically from our children's. So we're going to dive into the complexities of acknowledging childhood trauma and how it impacts our relationship with our children. Tell me we don't need to talk about this. Somebody say it. Yeah, that's right, because we do. Let's go. Thought of the day, or opening quote. The greatest legacy that we can leave our children is happy memories. OG Mandino. All right, guys, so today what are we covering? We are covering understanding perception and parenting. Then we're going to talk about the importance of open communication. And then I guess I'll share a little story, a little something, you know. And then we're going to close on out. And of course, I got a mantra towards the end. Are y'all ready? Or y'all just ready? Are y'all ready? We're ready. We're ready. Let's go. All right. So, apparently, it's hard to face the reality that we are not perfect. And that we certainly made some mistakes while raising our children. See, many of us, we might feel like we did everything right. But the truth is that our children might perceive our actions completely different than we intend. So, y'all know what? It is time to confront this disconnect and foster some healing. Let's break it down. Break it down. Let me. All right, parents, children, adults, audience, whoever's listening. Perception is a very, very intense, deep term. It's an understanding. My perception is everything. Perception is in the eye of the beholder. That is one of the principles that actually I built my business off of. Creations by us. Perception. Perception is everything. However, we all perceive things different. It doesn't make somebody right or wrong. You know, the thing I always use, 5 people, or maybe just 2, let's say 2. 2 people can watch the exact same fight. And then I'll say, hey, what was that fight about? Who won? And they'll tell me 2 completely different stories and neither one of them is lying. That's just how they sing things. Remember that. It's not about right or wrong. Yeah, so the way we perceive things, our perception is based off the way we perceive things. So the different experiences, right? Children experience their upbringing through their own lenses. And this may highlight a whole different aspect of parenting than what the parent intends to portray. According to the child psychologist, Dr. Shefali Tasbari, I'm sorry if you listen, I hope I pronounced that right. If not, don't condemn me. Children internalize their experiences, and these perceptions can shape their belief and emotional responses into adulthood. See, the reason why I've been stressing relationships, especially because of the theme this month, and I'm always talking about childhood trauma and everything, because I understand that the way we are in adulthood and the relationships that we form and all that is based off of the relationships or lack of relationship that we have with our parents. So, we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. So if there's if their bond is broken between you and your child, it's never too late to fix it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm just saying it's not too late to at least try. Right? I don't know if anybody's seen This Is Us. It's a series. Oh my gosh, it's probably one of the best series I've watched in a long time. I started watching it a few years ago, but then I got sidetracked. So when I was in Ohio a few months ago for my oldest daughters, I sat and watched that with her. And when I tell you, if that does not explain the different perceptions and everything in parenting and parenthood and children being raised, I don't know what does. But I'll talk about that more. You know what? It's one statement that we should all share worldwide. This is something that should be consistent and should never change. Parenting does not come with the book. That is the truest, simplest shit anybody could have said. It doesn't. Either you think you know it all, you're uptight, you're not going to make no mistakes, you're too lenient, it's going to be some mistake. I don't care how perfect of a parent you think you are. Nobody's perfect. And I don't really want to dig into astrology on this podcast too much, although I absolutely love astrology. But just for those who do understand or who are interested, I'm going to bring up something called our moon sign. So in our natal chart, we had this moon sign. And based off of that moon sign, it shows you what you did or didn't get from your mother. My children have different moon signs, and it's to the exact. So I'm a little more carefree. And because I was so carefree, to my daughter, it came off as irresponsible. So she felt like, this conversation we had when we got older, she felt like she had to be the responsible one. My other kids, she was my first. My other kids didn't get that same experience. But again, I'll tell you that when I get to my segment part of the story. The whole thing is perception is different. What you might need, your kid might need something completely different. You might not be used to hugs. You might not be okay with hugs, but that child may be. Or you may be the hugging type. That child may not be. Whatever, this perception is different. What you put out there may not be how. Like when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I want to know how. If it's a misunderstanding, I want to know how they perceived it, how they received it. And my sister tell you this, whenever even if it's something stupid, some type of miscommunication, I go back up to the message to see where I'm like, oh, okay, I can see why she said this. Are we not communicating? Are we not understanding each other? Or is it the way I relate this to you? Same thing with when you're raising your kid. I intend to do this and I'm doing it for this, but they might see it completely different. That's all I'm saying. Perception is the key. You got to respect that. All right? Mistakes we make. So again, whether we overly protected or too lenient, it's essential to understand that our parenting styles may have created some misunderstanding or emotional pain. This was published in a developmental psychology emphasis, how parents' behaviors significantly influence children's emotional well-being and attachment styles. Fact, that's a fact. And I'm not just saying that's a fact because it's written. I'm saying it's my fact. I have 7 children, 5 living. My twins passed at birth. I know more than a little bit. I'm an expert at this, at understanding this. I'm never going to be an expert in parent or anything for that matter, because it's always going to be more to learn. In the moment I deem myself an expert, I close the door and I stop learning. Even if I feel I have to pull back and say, okay, let me, maybe you know what I'm saying? Okay. So the second thing we're going to talk about is the importance of open communication. Now this is kind of scary right here. Yeah. Ooh, I had to get that singing out my system. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about talking. Okay, if you've been listening to me, communication is my thing. Okay, that's my first go-to to solve anything. Second is fighting. No, I'm just joking. Too old to be fighting. All right, so encouraging expression. It's crucial for parents to create a safe space where children can express their feelings, okay? Now, that's why I'm going to tell you why it was scary. Why it could be scary. First, you need to create the space without a fear of dismissal. And studies have actually shown that validating children's feelings, they foster emotional intelligence and resilience. Okay, so when you open up this door to allow your child to express their feelings and communicate, you have to be clear about how this goes. See, when I was growing up, there was no such thing. When I was raising my children, I opened up the door at a certain age. But by that time, it wasn't too comfortable, Some of them, Now adults, we open, but like that mid-age. So because of this, my oldest daughter, she allows her children open communication. And it's kind of scary. Sidebar real quick. So one day, it was maybe about 2 years ago, in North Carolina, my daughter and her boyfriend and her children, they were staying with me for a while from Columbus, Ohio. They moved out here. Thought they was going to stay, but they didn't. Anyways, that's another story. So my daughter, who is 13 now, my granddaughter, she just turned 12 or 11, one of the two. I can get a lot of things right, but I will never get everybody's age right. I'm going to tell you that now. I forget my age sometimes. I have to call my sister. So they were young. It was like, I want to say she was like maybe 8 or 9. Her and my youngest daughter, they are always into it. Especially like when if I go over there to stay, or my granddaughter come over here with us, depending on whose house it's who, they get real brand new with each other. So I guess it was one of the moments where they was beefing with each other. I didn't know. So me and my daughter was talking, and she was saying something, but she wasn't talking about my granddaughter. I wouldn't even do that. So she may have been trying to tell me what was going on, and I was talking to her like, listen, y'all need to figure this out, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know what happened, but baby, my granddaughter came up to me, and she's like, it was like maybe 15 minutes. I was like, excuse me. She's like, I just needed to address something or something like that. She's like, I didn't appreciate that you guys were talking about me. I stopped her. I said, what? What? I said, hold on, first of all, who you think you checking? And I heard this, like, my mom told me, no, you can, communicate with your mom like that, but you can't communicate. That's not what we're doing. I said, first of all, excuse me, I'm about to cuss. I'm a grown-ass woman. You're my granddaughter. Why would I be sitting here talking about you? There ain't nothing I can't ever say to you you're going to scare me. Nobody, for that matter. But you're my granddaughter. You'll never catch me talking about you behind your back. So my daughter like, Mom, I did not tell her that, whatever. We kind of laughed about it. But that's not the type of parent I am. Now, I understand society and it's changing so much. And children are growing up to be adults that don't know how to articulate their feelings and emotions. It's really not good. I'm going to agree with opening up a safe space, but I'm going to say sit down and have that conversation. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Don't try to check me. Now, I had my granddaughter came in and said, hey, Grandma, my feelings was a little hurt because, y'all were talking about I could have correct. Listen, baby, I don't know what you thought you heard, but when she came and checked me, I don't appreciate. What? Girl. I told her, I said, baby, I'm one of the uncheckables. It's like, no, I didn't tell her that. But, that was my personality. That was my attitude at the time because you're like 2 feet tall. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean that her feelings, but do you see where I'm going with this? This how, I don't care. We shouldn't do that. But I did correct her. And I do leave the door of communication open. But I'm saying, like, if you don't have that conversation about a conversation, then you don't know what you're going to get. So now my granddaughter know, okay, I can go talk to my grandma, but it's not what I say, it's how I say it. Period. All right. And I stress this all the time. Listening to understand, not to respond. That is the worst type of conversation to have. And it's so common. When somebody's talking to you or telling you something, especially if it's a debate or a difference of opinion, you just sign out. You clock out until it's your turn to talk. You know what I mean? But the other person don't know you clocked out. You know what I mean? Because they talk. You just waiting for your turn. I was a victim of that too. I was guilty of that. Not today, but I was before. So when you listen, understand, as a parent, we must listen actively and validate their experiences, y'all. Even if we struggle with the notion of being perfect. And I know this could be challenging, I promise you. But it is a necessary step towards building trust and connection. Research by John Gottman highlights that emotional validation is vital for maintaining a healthy relationship. It is. As a matter of fact, I'm doing an episode on two of the most common reasons why relationships are argue or conflicted, something like that. It's not about breaking up, it's about the problem. And that's going to be a topic. I'm very serious about that. I walked away from somebody for that reason. But I do think that it's important. So this is a little off the subject, and I'm going to try to speed through this because this is not my story to tell, but I had seen it on Facebook. It's about not feeling like you have an open space of communication or, you get sidetracked. And okay, let me just tell you. So I don't know how true the story was, but it was like a story. So this young girl committed suicide, and she wrote her parents a letter. And the letter basically said, I've been walking around the house for a while, very sad and depressed. You guys didn't even know, y'all didn't even know this. We went to Disney World, we did these things, and we still didn't know us. I locked myself in my room for days. I was sad and depressed. Nobody, maybe, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay, but nobody took the extra step. So let me tell you, am I blaming these parents? No. We all make the mistake of looking over the children. You got to pay very attention to children, even like things like not when they're not touching places they're not supposed to be touched. When you send your kids somewhere, when they come home, always look at them and check their actions. Check if they're doing something different. If they're completely different after they just left somebody's house, come on now. Check in. So anyways, the young girl, her uncle had moved in and he was messing with the young girl. She was a child. She fell in love with him. And madly in love with him. She wanted to be with him. He was a grown man and her uncle. So he finally had left and went to the army or something. It was something he did and he was not coming back. And it really depressed the hell up out of her. And then he stopped getting in touch with her, all this other stuff. And she was basically saying, damn, I'm sitting here being played with by my uncle, my dad's brother. Y'all don't even know. I done fell in love with him. I'm depressed. He goes through a lot of stuff. And I was like, why she committed suicide and left a letter. And if that's just a story and not real life, that was one hell of a story. It's one way to be like, I felt like I paid attention to my kids. I did, you know. I don't know how everybody else perceived or how they did, but once I heard that, I really started to can. You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to catch all the signs. You know, like I said, we're not perfect. We're not going to catch everything, but just be aware of what's going on. And with that being said, we're going to close this part off, and I'm going to come in with a little with a story. You know. Because I've been through this. All right, let's take a breath. Go get you a glass of water. You know, we'll be right back after this small break. Dun, 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 dun. Girl, you should be doing stand-up comedy somewhere. No, not chill, y'all. Chill. No, shit. I'm good. All right. Now I'm going to share my personal story and journey with you guys. Let's do this. Okay. So one thing I can tell you for certain is parenting really doesn't come with a book. Okay. So I had my first child when I was 15, and the next month I turned 16. So of course I had a lot to learn, a lot of trials and errors and here and there. When I tell you, if they should have named me Freedom, okay? Not freedom from my children, but I just think differently. I'm free. So, anyways, a few years later, you know, I got 5 kids. Boom. So, you know, I was getting things together. You know, I went through a hard time, especially after my fiance got murdered. You know, and I remember before I got there, my daughter was having a conversation with me, and I was like, "Did we grow up were we in the same household?" I just could not believe some of the things. Like, no, that's not what happened. No, that's not. So I'm assuming at some point she shut down, or she just felt probably worse than what she did before she had the conversation with me. So after I had went through like grief counseling or whatever, some other type of counseling, that was one of the things that had brought up being open and listening and validating your children's feelings. And the more she got to talking, I said, oh, you know, it's not hard to hear all your fuck-ups and your mistakes and how you feel like you might have damaged your child. But I'm telling you, if you're trying to be a part of their healing, you just gotta take it up. You gotta take it. You know what I mean? You gotta take one for the team. Because again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about their truth. You know. So one day, you know, I was talking to her. I said I apologized to her for invalidating her feelings and for telling her that her truth was not existence. So I encouraged her to tell me how she felt and how she had seen things. And I sat there and I listened. I didn't try to correct her. I didn't try to make excuses. I didn't try to make any mistakes. I didn't try to tell her it was a mistake and that's not how it happened. Even if I seen things differently. Because I understood at this point that we were two different people. We were living the same experience, but we seen it 2 different ways. So at that point, I let her know, I hear you. And I understand. I apologized for taking so long to even let her be able to get anything out. I told her, I said, I'm not going to apologize for the things I did because I didn't know any better and I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't make all the mistakes. What I'm doing is apologizing for how it affected you and how it may affect you later on in life. So let's deal with this now. Anytime, and I encourage anytime we have a conversation, you want to be open, please do. I don't care what it is you say. It's how you say it. You know what I mean? So what I come to find out is she thought that I just didn't care about anything because she said she never seen me cry. She never seen me like I did everything on my own for the most part. I'm a hustler, baby. It's like I was I didn't always work a 9 to 5, you know. I was you know, I didn't strip, I didn't do none of that. I did my thing, you know. So that's what paid the bills and the rent if I wasn't working at the time. It was like a back and forth thing with that. However, sometimes I would come across sometimes like the electric about to be cut off or something like that. She never seen me worry. I just didn't worry because, first of all, I didn't want them to see me worry. So once here we go with the intention we put out. I didn't want them to see me fall apart or worry. So I handled it differently. And if I did feel stressed out, and I didn't want to, I didn't do it in front of them. So in her head, I didn't care. So she had to care enough for all of us. She had to be the responsible one. That mom don't care. They say, me? Oh, the electric didn't cut off. First of all, I'm going to check my dividends. I'm going to try to get the money up. If I can't get the money up, I'm going to go sign up for one of them programs. And I'm going to be honest. Let me just stop lying. First I'm going to do is go outside on the side and I'm going to cut that shit on. That's back in the days. Cut it on. Cut it right back on. And I'm going to figure everything else after that. And I know it's illegal, but I was doing what I felt was best as a parent. We're not about to sit up in here without electric, and I know exactly how to turn that thing on outside. That's what I did, okay? Even when one time my water got cut off, we had one of them tools. Well, somebody in our family did cut that water back on too. You know, I did what I had to do to survive, and I did what I had to do for my kids or whatever. So I was feeling like I don't have time to sit around and cry. See, it wasn't even that I didn't want them to see me like that. It's just I was not like that. I'm not good in a negative space. I have to be optimistic. So I always look for okay, well, we could do it this way. The first thing I'm gonna do is get up and try to handle something. That's the first. I'm gonna take off running. And if I can't get the finish line, I'm gonna think of something else. And I know if it's not done, I know I exhausted everything. I did everything I could to get it done. So I'm not gonna cry about it. Now, don't get me wrong. There was sometimes I cried about things, you know. But for the most part, I mean, you know, I just handle it the best way I see fit. So things like that. So, however, because of my free nature, my freedom, she needs security as an adult. She has to have security and stability. That makes her feel safe. And for any of my astrologers, she's a Capricorn moon. You know what I mean? So she will work 50 jobs just to make sure that she's going to be okay, just to make sure she doesn't have to go through what she felt like she went through as a child. You know what I mean? We moved a lot. They probably went to every school on the west side of Columbus, Ohio. All my kids, like, we moved. I had a Section 8 for a few years. After that, I was paying regular rent. So shit, 4 or 5 months, damn, the rent coming up, and I'm evicted. I go find another place. And I gotta find, you know, it was no structure. But my younger daughter, my middle daughter, she didn't see it like that. She sees sunshines and rainbow. My son, he was confused on what to think. He thought he had a great childhood until my daughter had a conversation like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Like me hustling, their friends seeing me hustle. I didn't think that was embarrassing for them. You know, it was shit. Mom, cool. No. She said she was embarrassed as fuck. It was just a lot of things. It's a lot of things that I did. Now, the fact that I thought I was a great parent, and I'm just sitting here naming this stuff down, is wild. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to sit back and you got to think, okay, you know what I mean? Anyways, the whole point of that story is I've been there too. I did not want to hear none of that shit. I'm not a great parent. I did this, I did that. What are you talking about? That ain't happening. When I open up and listen to her, I understand her. I understand her perception. I understand her experience. And I agree with a lot of it, you know? This Is Us. That's the last thing I want to touch on. If you have not seen This Is Us, shame on you. Go watch it. If you have, I don't know if you got like the gist of what I'm about to say. I mean, not the gist. I don't know if you've seen things the way I seen them. But after watching that show, I thought, well, hell, every parent done made some mistakes. because this was kind of like a perfect couple, especially raising their children. But that's not how the children experienced it. The one guy was black, Randall. He was adopted by the white parents. They were always born on the same day. They lost the baby, so they adopted him in place. Why they thought they was doing everything, nurturing him and everything. He had some complexes growing up because of his blackness. Then the son that actually belonged to them, why they thought they was the best parents in the world, it was some conflict because he felt like she favored the other son over him. And then the daughter, she felt like she was fat. It was so many things. And the parents, they thought they were doing everything that they could do. And these children still grew up with some issues based off of their childhood. Okay? So if they were great parents, you could watch it and see they were great parents. Come on. Them compared to me, I had a lot of nerve shutting her down like that. But anyways, I really do hope this helps somebody. I just know, like, my mission is to raise vibrations collectively. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. So we are just transferring energy. So the more that we raise ourselves up, we lift ourselves up, we lift our children up, the higher we all elevate. It is very important to uplift our children. And if the healing starts with you, then you need to go and open up that door and let them go ahead and get that off their chest, whether you want to hear it or not, or you just continue being a part of their trauma. You know what I mean? You want to heal that relationship with your child, open up, listen, validate their feelings, even if you don't agree. You can say that. I didn't see things that way, but I understand. I didn't say that, because it's still it's like sorry, not sorry, but anything to let them get it out. I don't know. Just put some tape on your mouth and let them talk. It is hard to look in the mirror sometimes now. So, I get it. Anyways, guys, I ain't gonna hold you any longer. Thank you for listening. I really hope this helps somebody. I really hope you go to connect with your children. And also, I will be announcing here real soon. My oldest daughter, who I'm just was talking about, is starting like a 501 for mothers and children to bond. It's going to be like I don't want to tell you the name of it, okay, because it's a surprise. But it's going to be like a workshop and stuff. I'll give you more details, for children and mothers to bond and relate to each other, and it's neat. But I will keep y'all updated with that, and let's go ahead and get down to the tip of the day and the outro. All right. I would like to do an audience check-in. All right, guys. Have you had a conversation with your child about their experience growing up? If so, how did it go? I'd love to hear it. Let us know. Or if you want to have that conversation with your children and you're struggling, let us know. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, go on my website, www.inspiredvibrations.com. Let us know. So, guys, when having these conversations, you need to approach them with an open heart and mind, okay? Allow your child to share their feelings and experience without interjecting or defending yourself. This can lead to a deeper understanding, and it can heal both you guys, okay? Tip of the day. How to have the conversation. Approach with humility and openness. Create a calm, distraction-free environment. How to repair the relationship. You need to acknowledge past mistakes without defensiveness. Express genuine remorse for any hurt you caused. 3, how to listen effectively. Practice actively listening. People don't know. This is not a skill. Active listening is not a skill, I promise you. Don't interrupt or offer solutions right away. Just listen. Not to respond. Not to defend yourself. And then reflect back what you heard to ensure that you understand. Clarification. I always do that. How to receive the input. Stay open to feedback without taking it personal. Consider their feelings as valid, even if they differ from your perspective. Remember, it's not a fact. It's not a right or wrong. This is just how they see things and how they experience it. All right? And how to connect or reconnect. You schedule regular check-ins to keep the line of communication open. And y'all can engage in like shared activities that foster bonding. And that's what my daughter's going to be doing. Such as family outings or hobbies. All right. Let's wrap it up. Guys, let's wrap it up. It's time to go. go, 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 go. And I want to thank you for joining me in this vital conversation about bonding with our children and acknowledging their feelings about our parenting. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with others who may benefit. And remember, healing starts with honest communications. So guys, thank you for joining me in this whole mission that's bigger than yourself. This is a vital conversation about bonding with our children and acknowledging their feelings about parenting, about our parenting. So if you found this episode helpful, just, share it. All right? Thank ya. No, for real, seriously. Did you hear that big repeat, though? Whoa, hold up. Of course you know I was going to do, but don't play. Remember. Protect your energy like the Secret Service protects the president, but not who? John F. K. And remember, your energy is expensive. Be mindful how you spend it. Okay? And thank you for spending some of it here. So let's do the outro. All right, guys. Parenting is a journey of growth for both us and our children. Let's commit to understanding and validating their experience as we navigate this path. And I am out, baby. Namaste, my baby. See you another day.